Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of the Disc Golf Answer Man. I am Bobby Cool Daddy Slick Breeze, and I have with me Robert. Let's talk about some ratings update, McCall.
Let's.
We're going to talk a little bit about it.
It's funny that you say that.
Rating,
people call me that at parties all the time. Like when they're coming up with nicknames, they say, let's talk about some ratings or something.
Is that like in Cheers when they use Norm, they say ratings update?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. So let's just jump into it. So ratings update. We had it. Was it today or yesterday?
It was today.
And?
So I went up to 998. That's 2 points away from winning our bet.
What were you before?
995.
So you improved.
I'm on the incline. The rating before I was 994.
Yeah.
And so this year I've been, moving up, which is great. I will say, so the PDGA posted something earlier that some of the events kind of had some anomalies about the ratings in the fields and everything like that. And I noticed on my rating that my middle round at Waco was rated way higher than I think it should be.
Yeah.
It got put on my rating as a 1040 something, and it was originally a 10-0 something.
Whoa.
So that'll likely change back. But I had one of my ratings at Vintage Open it was not a good round for me at all. It was 960 something. And on my rating, it came in at 940. And I don't think that's right either. So there's something has happened with the ratings update. The PDGA published that they're looking into those events, going to get that fixed and then turned out as quickly as they can.
So is that gonna make it go lower, you think?
If I had to guess, I could lose a point, maybe 2.
0.2. So, but you're improving. But we have a bet going. If you're just tuning in, if you don't know about the bet, when Robert first got hired, it came the topic of not doing well at disc. When you work in disc golf, you don't do well in disc golf. And I can't remember exactly how it came about, but Robert was like,
"You just said you're not going to be good at disc golf anymore." And I said, I think I could get back to where I was. It's just mental. It's not even getting to play much. It's just I make mental mistakes more now than I did then.
So at the time, what were you rated at the time? Do you remember?
We rated 980 something.
And I said, I bet you don't reach 1,000 rated before the end of 2019, and that became the
end
bet.
of 2018. I would love to have until the end of 2019.
I'm sorry, 2018. Yes, don't want to give you some more time.
Yeah.
So by the end of 2018, I said he would not be 1,000 rated, so that became the bet. So he had I should have said by the end. It should in other words, it should have had to have stayed 1,000.
Ooh, yeah, that would have been tough because I could have gotten there, but then that would be really tough.
So as long as he hits 1,000 rating before
anytime between now and the last, actually, we probably need to talk about this.
Yeah,
the last update of 2018 events, 2018 events included, actually happens in 2019. It's usually January, February, where it doesn't take into account any 2019 events, but does get the rest of the events from 2018.
Yeah, but we said January 1st, 2019.
That's true, but not all the events will be included.
No, you're getting now you're
all right. It may not matter.
But to be fair, we started in the middle of 2017.
Right, and had you been smart, you would have said by the end of 2017, you won't be 1,000 rated, and I probably would have taken the bet because I'm a competitor. I want to do stuff.
Right.
And there's literally not a chance I could have done that. Yeah, I'd have had to work super hard to get even close.
So someone asked on the board, I just saw real quick, they said, have you ever been 1,000 rated?
Benjamin, I have been 1,000 rated before.
How high did you get?
1001 was my highest. That was when I was living in Austin and had more time to play disc golf and traveled to more tournaments. I was kind of staying in the rhythm of it a little bit better. But yeah, I was 1,000 rated throughout different times during 2013. And then 2014, I had knee surgery. And my last update before I had knee surgery, I was rated 1,000 on the number. So when I came back in 2016, I was still rated 1,000, but I was not playing at that level.
Awesome.
So learning again.
So anyway, there's some stuff on the line. We won't have to get into most of it, but it's going to be some embarrassing stuff for the loser.
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to tell you. No, you know what? I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to wait till it happens, and then I'll surprise you.
Did you already figure out the disc that you're going to make for me?
No, not yet.
Oh.
No, but I got
what are you
lots of
put
ideas.
It on?
No.
Hopefully we won't have Fusion Mavericks by then, because if he puts it on a Maverick, that means it's going to be one I'm going to throw a lot.
Is it literally the only disc I'm thinking about putting it on?
All right. So anyway, if you guys probably noticed, Eric McCabe is not here. He had to take a trip to Dallas.
Yeah, he told me he quit.
Yeah, no, he's out there designing courses, growing the sport. And let me look this up real quick. Now that I thought about it, it's actually pretty exciting to know some of the things that know of some of the places that he's gone to. Let me look up my notes here. Where is he? There. He in the last month he has been to Nashville, Tennessee. I got you. Biddeford, Maine. And Dallas, Texas. And then now he just left for Dallas again, and he won't be back until tomorrow. Yep. And then within the next month, he's going to be in Alaska.
Cool.
And New York.
Also cool.
Just sprinkling baskets everywhere, putting courses out there.
While he's doing that, we sit here and talk about stuff.
Right. In the heat with those hot lights.
Oh, it was so hot. We did Is This Disc Right For You today?
It was hot.
And I wore pants today like an idiot. So I had to change them into capris, and I wouldn't say it was my proudest moment. So, yeah.
Some other big news. Pay attention if you are into match play. So the match play World Championships presented by Ogio.
Yeah.
Just with the registration opened about a week or so ago, and it was only the requirements was 1,000 rated or higher.
On the men's side.
And 920 on the women's side. Well, we just opened it up yesterday. Well, late yesterday. 900 and above now for both divisions.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's opened up for many more people to be able to play. Robert, tell them what they're playing for.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff on the line here. The top 8 competitors in our field will get paid out. 5th through 8th place will get $1,000 a piece. The entry fee is $150, by the way. 5th through 8th place will take $1,000 a piece. 4th place will take $3,000. 3rd place, $5,000. 2nd place, $10,000. 1st place, wait for it, $15,000.
That's a lot of money.
As we were talking about earlier on the live video that we did after shooting Is This Disc Right For You, I would take any amount of thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
1 is good. 10 is good. 15 would be great. I'm not going to discriminate against different numbers of thousands of dollars. I would just accept any of those.
So now that it's opened up for the 900 or better, we did get confirmation that Robert is going to sign up.
I'm going to sign up. I have not yet, but I will.
Robert is 100%. Going to sign up. Anthony even mentioned he might sign up.
So, dude.
Danny
might sign up.
Danny, you going to sign up? He's going to sign up.
Yeah. So now, how it's going to work is if we end up having more than 64 players, then the highest rated 60 males and the highest rated 4 females will form that bracket.
And if you register and you don't end up being the highest rated, we will refund you the registration, correct?
Right. Yeah. We won't keep that.
Yeah, we won't.
It would be as if you got on a wait list and just didn't get in the event.
Right. Yeah. So exciting stuff. So make sure you tell your friends if they're rated 900 or better, they need to get on this match play train.
Yep.
Anything else going on?
I will be on the match play train.
You are on the match play train.
So far, no. I mean, we got some stuff this weekend, but we can get to that later.
All right. What do you say we get to the questions?
You know what? We should get to the questions.
Remember, guys, you can go to discgolfanswerman.com, submit your questions, and we will get them on the air. First one on SpeakPipe comes from Brent. Let me double check my volume here because I don't want to blow anybody away.
Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man. My name is Brent, all the way up here in Wisconsin. My question today is, what would be your preferred choice of footwear for discing? Usually I wear gym shoes and I would slip and slide all over the tee pads if they were wet at all. So I recently made the decision to get a pair of Keen Saltzman hiking shoes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really excited to, with their combination of waterproofing and the thick tread on the bottom of the shoe, I'm really excited to see how they hold up and how they perform. Just interested to see what you guys go to in terms of footwear for disc golf. So as always, keep it real, and thanks for answering my question.
Nice.
I got to say, when it comes to questions, it's the biggest one is, how do I get more distance?
Yeah.
And what shoe should I wear?
Well, yeah, because they watch the show and know how much I care about shoes.
No, before
Thank you, Brent, for making me feel welcome.
Before you were even part of the show,
so long ago,
shoes was a big topic. And I see that on Facebook all the time. Why do you suppose that is?
I don't know. I mean, for us, it's not quite the same as golf clubs and how important they are to hitting golf balls. But for us, discs are more important. But because so much of our throw is dependent on our plant and our footwork, I think shoes are really important to people, and that's why they care and want to get the best ones that'll last the longest and give them the right amount of grip. I care about mine a lot. I won't just go play in any shoes.
Now, I will tell you that disc golfers are very rough on shoes.
Especially Eric.
Yes, especially if you're a toe dragger, which
he
Eric
is a toe dragger.
Yeah. So you got to be real careful with that. And if you play on a lot of courses that have concrete tee pads, that's going to tear up. Concrete tee pads and rubber just don't work well together. Just about if you ask anybody, you're going to get all kinds of different answers as far as comfort level and things like that, because people prefer different fits of different shoes and things like that. But for the most part, you're going to see a lot of disc golfers wearing your Solomon brand, your Keen brand. The Merrill brand is another big brand that you see a lot because of that hiking trail type shoe seems to fit well with walking on the courses a lot. But you will see some people, I've seen some people wear just regular old like Nike running shoes,
right? Just
because that's what's comfortable to them. The thing is, you got to know that if you're going to play 4 to 5 times a week, if you're just diehard disc golf, your shoes are not going to last long. And so you cannot expect those shoes not to get tore up, because remember, you're constantly twisting your foot on that tee pad, and that's going to wear it out.
Right.
So, other than that, I don't know what else to.
Yeah. I mean, a bunch of people, like you said, like the Adidas Terrex shoes. I like the Solomon shoes in general. I like more of the running style as opposed to the hiking style because they're a little bit lighter and lower profile. That's just personal preference. I have some waterproof ones that are on the hiking side of things, and I like those pretty well. Obviously, Paige Pierce is a Keen sponsored athlete, and so she wears Keens all the time and tells me how great they are. And I bought a pair of waterproof boots of theirs to try out, and they were fantastic. So, it's personal preference, really.
That's a good point. Waterproof shoes.
Have one of each.
At least one pair of waterproof shoes, or waterproof socks, something, because even if you don't play in a place that rains a lot, if you're ever playing in tournaments and your tee time happens to be early in the morning, there's still that morning dew that can be on grass.
The worst.
I'm telling you, you will ruin the first half of your first round if your feet are sopping wet.
If not all of your round. It's so annoying.
So, and there's something about tiring out. It just tires out your feet.
Yeah. And here's a free piece of advice.
Oh, man, you're going to beat me to it.
You can do it. You can do it.
Is it socks?
Yeah.
Yes.
In between rounds.
This is something I learned in the Marine Corps. Obviously, we didn't play disc golf in the Marine Corps. We could have, but we just didn't happen to play disc golf. But when we would go on our 15-mile hikes, we would have to take 4 or 5 pairs of socks, because every time we would take a break and stop and eat or something like that, they would force us to change our socks, and it did make a big difference. So I would say that translates to disc golf. In between rounds, I'm telling you, you'll feel renewed. There'll be a sense of renewed.
Yeah, it's honestly, it's like having a new lease on life.
Yes.
I always if I'm going to a 1-day tournament with 2 rounds, I always have 3 pairs of socks with me. The ones I'm wearing on my feet right then, the ones to change into for the second round, and then right after the second round's over, I change either into flip-flops sometimes, but if not, new pair of socks, not disc golf shoes. Oh, you feel so great after that.
Yes, feel so great. All right, let's take a question from the Google Forums. This one comes from Scott. Oh, nope. Let's do a different one from KD. What is this? Oh, it's a pod.
This fella is asking for some advertising for his podcast.
Right. This one, another form one that we'll have Danny take on. This one's about courses. Oh, we probably should wait until. What are your this one is from Unknowned.
No, it actually says unconed.
Oh, that's right. Uncounted.
No, yeah,
uncounted.
That's right, yeah.
What are your top 5 disc golf favorite courses in Iowa? Or what are your favorite courses?
I have only played 3 courses in Iowa. All 3 of them I thought were great. And those were Ewing, Pickard, and Walnut Ridge, I believe. And I loved all 3. I played poorly at all 3, but I think they were well designed and super fun. So I love that. One of the most fun courses I've played in a while is we went to Lockport, Illinois a couple weeks ago for the Clash of the Canyons. And I can't say enough good stuff about Delwood Disc Golf Course. Beautiful, super worth your while, incredibly well maintained by the Parks Department. It's not in Iowa, but definitely one of my new favorites.
Nice. I've never played in Iowa.
You've never even heard of Iowa, is what you're telling me.
I don't even know how to spell Iowa.
Yeah, it's pretty tough.
So yeah, I don't have any favorite courses in Iowa. I guess, I mean, I have.
If that's even a place.
Yeah, even if it exists. Conspiracies all around about stuff. So I don't know. I don't know how to pick a favorite course. I like to play different courses around. Yeah. I've been to, I'd have to say Sweden. Yarva Park is pretty cool.
Oh yeah,
I got to throw a few holes.
This week.
Yeah, I got to.
This week when we go on our trip. Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be exciting to see that. But yeah, Yarva Park is a really cool course. Let's take this one from Ben. He says, "Hey, Disc Golf Answer Man, I just recently played my first tournament round at the Jones East Flex C tier during GBO and absolutely loved it.
Nice.
I'm struggling being consistent with my step putt. My putts tend to be way too high and hyzer out over the basket. I know the main thing I need to do is just practice that putt, but do you guys have any advice or things you can focus on when you practice step putting to keep the putt low?"
That's a really good question there, Ben. For me, step putting is an extension of my regular putt form, right? So some people, here's a good example of someone who has a completely different step putt form than their regular putting form, and that's Paul Ulibarri. If you watch him step putt, he gets his weight forward and his left foot is definitely in front of his mini before he lets the disc go. Now, it usually isn't on the ground by the time that he lets the disc go, but his weight is entirely different than a regular putt, right? That's those guys that you see step through early and then kind of do that. For me, I like just keeping my regular putting stance and then just kind of, when I'm stepping, just kind of follow through onto my left foot. So get my weight so far forward and pushing that I kind of have to catch myself with my left foot. And so I think step putts and jump putts should really be an extension of your current form. And the only way to practice that is to exactly do that, just to practice. Don't try and get your weight too far forward and then just launch your arm. You may be tending to get the putt too high because your weight is too far forward. Mm-hmm. And so you're thinking, oh, I need to compensate and get my arm up really high. You just want it to be an extension of your putt, really.
I gotcha. All right, let's take one from Scary Terry.
Scary Terry.
All right, guys. So
like Terry Miller?
I don't know, but I have to give a warning. I don't know how scary this is going to be.
That's right. Quiet Place Scary or?
Hey, DGAM. Scary Terry here again. Thanks for answering my last question. Robert, I didn't mean to offend you. Just throwing you some guff.
It's okay.
Couple questions today. I started putting with the Deputy about a year ago. Yes. I used to have kind of a lofty hyzer putt, and the Deputy taught me to just run straight at the basket, and I absolutely love it. So my question is, the one thing that I don't love about the Deputy is it's not the greatest wind putter. And I wanted to maybe get a putter that feels very similar but is a little more stable. Something that is beadless. I was kind of looking at the Warden. Maybe you guys could help me out with that. And my last question is, I know you guys have a bet with Robert becoming 1,000 rated player. I don't exactly remember what happened if he didn't, but what kind of bet could we get going that if Robert loses, he would have to shave his head? Because that'd be pretty awesome. Thanks again, guys. Love what you do. Have a good day. Bye.
Scary Terry, I hope you caught my chuckle there, because that's the sound of it ain't never going to happen.
Ain't never.
I have shaved my head before, by the way. In college, not recently, but in college, I was like, hey, I'm going to save money. I'm a broke college kid. So I just cut my own hair. I wouldn't call it my best look.
What'd you take? You just shaved it?
Yeah, pretty low, like a 1 or 2 guard.
Oh wow, yeah. That we were doing something in here. Was it Zach Milton was in here or no?
It was Zach Milton. Yeah,
right. we were doing some kind of bet, and we're like, if Robert loses, just shave his head. And Robert, it was almost like Robert just wanted to make sure he just made sure everybody understood.
Hey,
that will never.
Like, I know we were joking, Like we were all joking around this now, but let's get serious for a second. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, they will. That will never be.
Zach was saying
something he wagers.
Yeah, Zach was saying if I win, then Zach shaves his beard.
Yeah.
If Zach wins, I shave my hair.
Well, it's not even.
Well, it's not even. First of all, he's better at disc golf than I am. But second of all, I mean, he could grow his beard back in, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 months because he's crazy. Right. It would take a while for me to get back to this level for sure. This is longer than you think. It's pretty long. I like that you checked it out for a minute just to make sure.
Yeah, I was like, wow.
Now for the first part of your question, Scary Terry, I like the Warden for what you're talking about. It's more more stable, I guess, than people really give it credit for, and it feels close enough to the Deputy. I think the Deputy feels a little bit shallower, and the rim is different. But otherwise, I think that'd be a pretty good transition. Yeah, the Deputy, definitely, I could see if you're a loft putter. I've tried to change up my putting just a little bit. I know we talk about, because of that, because I used to do more of a loft. Now, when I'm got quite a distance, I still do a loft putt. Mm-hmm. But that's just to kind of keep it close. Right, but if I'm close enough, I am trying to concentrate on a more straight at it putt so that the wind doesn't affect it as much as if you're a loft putter. And so, but I still like the Deputy because it still goes very straight for me. Right. So anyway. Yeah. And you've been making a lot of putts lately. I actually have been doing. You've been putting very well. Yeah. I like it. Yeah. All right. Let's go on to our next speak pipe question. This one's from Sean.
Hey, everyone there in the studio. My name is Sean. I have a quick question real quick about the all important putting. So, putting is by far the worst part of my game. I've been playing for about a year now, and it has steadily gotten better. I can't complain too much. My technique's gotten a little better. My consistency's gotten a little better. But as far as I've watched people around me, it's nowhere close to even people who've been playing the same amount of time as I have. I know everyone has different skill levels, different skill sets, and that's to be expected. But I was curious about everyone in the studio, anyone who wants to give an answer. How long did it take you to find your putting style? You know, my biggest problem is that I switched from one to the other to another. And I never stick to one. So finally, a buddy of mine told me, just find one that you're at least moderately comfortable with and then stick to it and work on just that putting style and go for it. In the past month and a half, that's exactly what I've been doing. And my putting has shown a little bit of improvement. But it took like a year for me to get to this point. I was curious if that's normal, if anyone else in the studio, if you guys kind of found a putting style that you found comfortable with right away and stuck to it the entire time, or if it took you a long time like me. So yeah, I was just curious to see, to see what the norm was. Thanks a lot, guys. Keep it real.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember like thinking.
You kind of switched yours a little bit recently.
Yeah, I mean, I don't remember when. I'm trying to think back when I first started. I don't remember thinking other than, watching people and seeing how they stand, and then the biggest thing was the follow through, and the biggest other thing was, I guess, your other hand. Making that follow, trying to almost think of Eric McCabe and his putt, like that. Yeah. I don't know.
Taking flight.
Yeah. I don't know that everybody
making every putt when he does it.
I don't know that everybody does that, but there's some form of follow through for it. But yeah, like I said just a few minutes ago, I'm trying to change up the style only in that I'm trying to shoot it straight at it. And in my mind, I'm thinking, what I've heard before is if you're going to miss big, because the soft lofting putting it'd be different if I make it every time I do a soft loft putt. Yeah, right. But I don't, and I miss a lot, and so I'm thinking I need to change it up. And if I'm going to shoot at the basket, I'm going to shoot as straight as I can be. And if I happen to miss it, I miss it, but I was going to miss it anyway. But I don't know how does one learn a putting stance?
I think you really just need to find what's comfortable for you and weigh the pros and cons of different putting styles. For instance, I really like the style that I've settled on now, but it's taken me a few styles to get there. I started off doing kind of more of just a straight spin putt, just like a bunch of beginners do. And it was more of really a throw. And then I saw some people doing more of that pitch putt. It's not really quite like Ricky's because Ricky's is so much faster than everybody else's, but one that has more loft to it, because I would miss a lot, but that meant I could stay close to the basket. And I putted like that for a while and got better at that after a while. And then I finally settled on more of a hybrid putt. And for me, I love that because I can take a little bit more aggressive line at the basket that's not quite a full-on spin without so much fear of it going so far past that I couldn't make a comeback putt. But it's taken me, I guess I've been playing for 10 years now. I bet I've been putting in that hybrid style for the last 3. I don't know. I mean, little tweaks change from time to time. Maybe I work on the angle at which I'm letting the disc go, or maybe I work on kind of the speed or line that I'm trying to take at the basket. But I don't know. I like my putting style a lot because it's really comfortable to me. And the reason that I love putting so much is because I wasn't a great putter for a little while, and I decided putting was going to be my best friend. Right. So in disc golf, if I'm struggling with something, I say, you know what, I'm not going to work on anything else. I'm going to get good at this. I don't care what it takes. And since I did that, I learned to love putting. It's not just so some people throw a shot on a hole and they get a 40-foot and they're like, oh man, I got a 40-footer. Like, I'm really scared of this. I love having a 40-footer because I love putting. Like, the process of putting, the enjoyment of making it, I really enjoy that. That changes your mindset entirely when you're putting. And so what I'd recommend to you, this is Sean, right? Yeah. What I'd recommend to you, Sean, is make putting your best friend. Find a style that you like the pros more than the cons, that feels even moderately comfortable to you, and then just drill it. Just drill it until you're a better putter, and then you'll start to enjoy the game more.
There you go. Next one, it comes from Sergio. It's probably not like that, but I'll go with it. He says, I started playing in June, and I've been playing a couple times a week since January. Now that I'm scoring closer to even par, I'm considering signing up for a PDJ membership at the end of this year. How much experience / confidence do you recommend someone to have before they start to play in tournaments?
Go play for me. I mean, I was doing okay in our local scene before I went and played my first tournament, but it's not like I was winning every league that I showed up to. It's just I enjoyed playing. I'm a competitor. I like competing at things. And so then I just went and competed. I wouldn't be scared. I think people should start playing tournaments a little earlier than most people would recommend to them, just because there's no better experience like to learn from than just getting out and doing it. That's where I'm at. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, of course, you could start out with leagues if you want, or some places call them minis, but you definitely want to get that experience of coming together and then putting something on the line, which is paying for it. Some of these events have really good players packs, so they try to make it worth it. Even if you're thinking, I'm not even going to win this thing, at least I'll get some goodies from the event. But yeah, you need to experience the tournament scene. Not saying you've got to become some big touring professional and playing all kinds of tournament, but if there's something that's within an hour or 2 or 3 hour drive and you've got a free weekend, I would highly recommend checking out and getting in on some quality tournaments. Now, if you try to figure out what division you should play, I mean, if you've never played and you just really started playing, then recreational will be a good place to start. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to put down the recreational division. So if you're a rec player, please don't get this wrong, but I wouldn't stay in the rec division for very long. If you're starting to play like 5 or 6 tournaments, or at least 1 or 2 maybe tournaments a month, I would say within 3 or 4 months, you probably should move up and not play rec, because you're going to see that there's going to be just another level of playing when you start moving up the divisions for sure. Next one comes from Mike Tastic.
I like that.
He is Mike Tastic. Let's see if he really is Mike Tastic.
It's like the Office.
What's up, Disc Golf?
Holly says Mike Craculus.
Robert, the perfect hair, McCall,
up,
Eric, Instadogs, McCabe, and Bobby. Hope you guys are doing well. My question is this.
What? I don't even get... Mike, I don't even think I want to go on.
Dude, yours
I don't even get a nickname?
By far the most established nickname. The one that actually sticks with you, because ours are different every week. You get nothing, and you like it.
All right, Mike, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. We'll listen to the rest of it.
Disc, out of the 2018 releases, including the Trilogy Challenge discs, which disc has been your favorite so far and why? I'm asking you this question because I'm sitting next to a brand new first run getaway that I just got in the mail. Haven't thrown it yet, but it feels amazing, and I cannot wait to throw this thing. Which 2018 disc is your favorite and why? Hope you guys have an awesome week. Keep it real.
I think that's fairly easy for me.
Super good question. Yeah, you can go ahead because I know the answer to yours.
The Dynamic Discs Maverick.
Yeah,
that has been, and I know people throw around the buzzword game changer, but that really, it literally has opened my mind. That sounds so weird, but it has. Just to have a disc that when I throw can be so super straight and not have a lot of fade at the end, so I can make well-placed shots, has just made me realize that I need to not be so worried about the speed, or I guess I should say more worried about grabbing that next high-speed driver. And now this is just me. This is my skill level. When I'm thinking about where I'm at in my game, I don't need to worry so much about getting the most distance, like the far out extreme throw until I pass out, get distance. I need to worry about well-placed shots so I can get those pars. Because a lot of times I'm noticing when I try to get that distance, I end up with a 4, or I'm struggling to get, or I'm really working hard to get that 3. And if I just make some well-placed shots with my drive and then my upshot, and then I'm right under the basket and I get that 3 and I move on to the next hole. So definitely the Maverick, and something I think I've mentioned on here before, but I've actually literally taken some discs out of my bag. The Queen, the Captain, I've taken those out because I've decided I'm not going to throw.
Did you hate them?
No, I don't hate them. I think they're good discs, but I've decided for a while I'm not going to throw anything above a speed 12, which is going to be my trespass. I have 2 trespasses. I have my little hybrid one and my Biofusion one that I really like. And then for windy days, I'm going to put in that Tina Stenitis Lucid X trespass that I got.
Try it again. Hybrid trespass. That's okay.
Oh, it's a hybrid one?
Yeah.
My bad. Hybrid trespass. I want to put that in there because that, I like that hybrid plastic. It feels super nice.
Yeah.
Now, I do have a Biofusion Enforcer and a Defender in there only because those are, I guess, what you would say more utility, because it's when it's super windy. I'm talking like really windy Kansas, and I really need something stable. So anyway, sorry, I'm going on a tangent. The Maverick, that has been my favorite so far for 2018. I'm looking forward to the Patrol.
Hey.
I've thrown it a few times, and I liked its flight, but I need to really throw it a little bit more. So I'm getting excited about the Trilogy Challenges. Do we have one this weekend? Because this weekend is the opening weekend for Trilogy Challenge.
I think there's one at New Life. I don't know if it's this weekend or not, but
I don't know. I think we're going to be. Are you going to be here in town?
I'll be here, but I won't be at that. We're going to be doing Lime Warrior doubles.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
No, but it's a flex start. You can play both. Anyway,
I don't think I'll play Jones Gold and another course in the same day.
That's true. So anyway, what's your favorite for 2018?
This is a really hard one for me because we've come out with a lot of good discs this year, like a lot of good discs this year. But here are my top 3 in the running. And I'm going to tell you why I settled
in the running.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you why I settled on the one that I did.
And the winner goes
the Ballista Pro is awesome for me. It's just a great speed and stability. I can lean into it and get it to fly straight. If I really want to work it over a little bit, I can. Just adds a little bit of speed and distance for me, and I love that because, as we've noted, I don't throw like super duper far, but far enough, and I like that it just gets me 20, 30 extra feet. I like that a lot. So I guess I'd put that in 3rd place. There it is. I will rank him. 2nd place, and this is like the narrowest of margins. 2nd place for me is the Getaway.
Between 3rd and 2nd is narrow?
No, between 2nd and 1st.
Okay.
The Getaway is something that we haven't had before. It's in a speed range of its own that does something different than we've had, right? So it is a speed 9, but it stays in the air for forever. I've thrown it definitely over 400 feet, which for me is, I'm pretty happy to get over 400 feet. And it's just so controllable. It's really, really controllable. I love the speed. I love the stability. It's reliable. Can't say enough good things about the Getaway. I will say my number 1 is an Explorer. And I keep the Explorer and Getaway in the bag because they do 2 different things for me. The Explorer is a little bit slower. I think it has a little bit more controllable speed for that fairway range. And I really like the stability of it because I can push it out straighter a little bit farther before getting just a little finish to the left. That's what I do with the Opto Explorer. And then I've got an SE Explorer that's just straight as an arrow that I can put on just a touch of hyzer and have it stand up to flat and just go straight. It's awesome. The Explorer, the Explorer is the game changer this year. It's a disc that I've been missing a lot that I love that we have. And I threw it a ton at Clash of the Canyons.
Is it a fair statement saying, take into account the arm speed difference between you and me, that the Maverick and the Explorer are kind of similar discs?
Yeah, I'd say we throw them. I'd say we throw them on similar type lines. Yeah,
yeah.
And I love the Maverick too. I don't mean to leave it out because I
yeah.
throw the crap out of it. It's awesome.
That's what I'm saying. The Explorer is just a little more overstable, so it would be much better for someone that's got a bigger arm.
Definitely.
Someone will kind of
grab a couple questions here.
Yeah, here on YouTube because it's relevant to what you said. Because Dustin asks, how does the Opto X Explorer fly compared to the Gold Burst and Opto?
Dustin, I have not been able to throw the Opto X Explorer just yet. Dang it.
Get out of here.
All right. See you later. That's just like when you outdrove me on the Willett Heiser music. I still haven't officially gotten fired yet, but I know that's coming.
It's coming.
I got outdriven.
Outdriven. We're waiting till Friday, so it's kind of the end of the week.
so I don't rage on my way out. But no, I haven't gotten to throw that one yet. I am excited to check that out for sure. But the SE starts off slightly less overstable than the regular old Opto ones, and I love both.
What would you say though, as far as as making a general statement? What is the Opto X difference?
So,
the Opto X Lucid X.
Opto X is slightly more overstable out of the box usually, and it's stiffer. It's a stiffer feel, and yeah, that's the one. That's basically all the difference that there is. If you like a stiffer feel on the plastic, you're gonna like Lucid X. If you like a more overstable flight on discs that you know the flight of already, you're gonna like Lucid X. That's how it is.
Yes. Next question is from James Shook, and there's actually in a question. Kind of let us know, and I didn't realize this has happened. He said, I reached out to Robert and Cool Daddy Slick Breeze via Messenger with no response. I apologize for that, James.
First of all, James, I didn't see that.
Well,
I'm sorry.
A lot of times if you guys now...
Oh, dynamic disc messenger.
Well, no, he says Robert and Cool Daddy. So not. I don't know if he did my Cool Daddy Slick Breeze Facebook fan page, which I don't check regularly because I've just kind of had to not look at that because I have so many other things to work on. But if you sent it to my personal Facebook page, if we're not friends on Facebook, you have to understand that it is a you might go into the, what is it called? Message requests. So it's a whole different inbox.
Yeah. And those,
I don't check those
unless we're
often.
friends. Yeah, I don't see those very often.
So anyway,
but thanks for reaching out.
Yeah, he says, so I will be sending a little gift from, is it Kalo?
I think it's Kalo, yeah.
Kalo with assortment of sizes. Keep up the good work. So James, thank you so much. What he did was he sent these little rings.
Yeah, silicone bands that are engineered for people who exercise or just want something different than their traditional band, or just me. Yeah. And I did end up with this super cool one. I'm pretty sure it's a ladies one, if we're being honest, because they do thinner ones for the ladies bands.
Oh, okay.
But that's the size of my actual wedding band. So I decided I wanted to feel fancy. Now I have one.
He's fancy. So anyway,
it's kind of my thing, being fancy.
So thank you so much. He sent us like a box full of different sizes, and I distribute them to everybody at the warehouse. It was really cool. Everybody's excited. So again, big thanks and shout out to Kalo, Qalo, James at Kalo for doing that. Really,
thanks, James. Appreciate that. And my wife got one too, and she loves it.
Did she really?
She's at the gym all of the time. And so
she is outworking you.
Dude, 100%.
She's getting serious.
Yeah. And it makes me mad because, like, I don't know. I was the one who used to, like, work out and stuff. And
pretty soon you're not going to deserve her.
Well, we're well past that, my friend. I hadn't deserved her for a minute.
All right, next one is from Anonymous at...
Bad decisions at discgolf.com.
Yeah, bad decisions at discgolf.com.
This is promising.
Let's see what it says. Reads says,
hello, Disc Golf Answer crew. You may recall a story told to you by Boo about some jerk named Andy who throws his putting putters off the tee. I also play with that guy a lot because I am that guy. Quick update. I still throw my putting putters.
Again,
what's more is they are now black. Super easy to find, and I'm sure my friends don't hate me at all. But my question is for Robert.
All right.
I'm currently 948 rated. And since we were both shooting for 1,000, I figured you would be the guy to ask.
My man.
So my question is, how did I ever live without Torchy's tacos? I was recently in Texas and ate there 3 times in 12 hours. Sweet, merciful crap.
That's more than us, isn't
so delicious.
Oh, God, it's so good.
And I now blame you for making me fat. Just wanted to let you know. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Thank you for your question/comment. I truly believe this, and I'm going to go on record with it. Eating Torchy's tacos is the key to being 1,000 rated. I'm just going to say that outright. I feel like all of our listeners will agree with me. No, Torchy's is 100% my favorite place to eat in Austin. When we went down to, when we went down to Waco, we ate at Torchy's every night for dinner. And I'm not like exaggerating. Literally every night we ate dinner, we ate at Torchy's.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And I was not mad.
So if you're not from the Texas area and a few other places, I can't remember where they're at. I know there's one
Oklahoma,
in Tulsa.
Yeah,
there's one in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There's several in Oklahoma. That's right, because we tried to stop at one there.
Norman,
built. Yeah. It's just a kind of a fusion street taco place.
Yeah.
And I say fusion because they come up with some really interesting combinations. Like at the time during Waco, Texas, there was the Roscoe that we've talked about.
The Roscoe, the chicken and waffles taco.
Yeah, chicken, waffles,
bacon, syrup, egg.
So
unreal. Unreal. Also, that will make you gain in this area. So
I think next time we're in the area, we may not eat there that often, or I may have to maybe opt for like the salad, because I remember after we got back, I remember thinking those are so good, but now I felt like I was like, bleh.
But that feeling that you
the temporary feeling as I was stuffing my face,
the feeling of sadness when you got back, super. That's actually called gratification. That's what people call being satisfied.
I see.
Yeah.
All right. The next one, I actually listened to this one because I thought the title of it or who it came from was interesting, and this is going to be a funny one. This is from Joey's wife.
What's up, Joey's wife?
Hi, guys. I actually have a question for you from a wife of a disc golfer. My husband got into disc golf about 7 years ago, and we do love it. Like, I love to go out with him when I can, when the kids are taken care of. But the challenge that we have is that discs have slowly overtaken our home. In fact, right now, his disc golf bag, his Dynamic Discs disc golf bag, is sitting prominently in my living room like some sort of shrine. My question is what is good storage for disc golf discs? Do we need to find space in a closet? We live in Northwest Ohio, so temperatures get extreme, like extreme heat to extreme cold. So is it safe to store them in the garage, or do we need to keep them in the home? Any advice would be greatly appreciated, because I know he's not going to stop coming home with discs. He's just going to continue to add to it. Thanks so much.
So a shameless plug, which Robert pulled up on his computer, is that we do have disc golf bins that are really good. In fact, I purchased 2 of them and I put them in my closet, and they hold a lot of discs.
They do, yeah.
Does it say how many discs it holds?
About 5 million.
About 350.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
About 350.
If I had
to set you up, man, you didn't even say it.
No, I was going to let you say it.
Oh, okay, appreciate it.
Yeah. Sometimes you get to be the punchline.
Oh, I got you.
Sometimes you get to deliver the punchline.
So anyway, these bins are really nice. They're stackable. But I know a lot of people I've seen on Facebook, a lot of people like do-it-yourself people love to create these shelving systems that they put their discs on. So you can get creative that way. But I think, what are your thoughts, though, as far as, because I know like Eric McCabe, and I'm sure a lot of these touring disc golfers or people that have been playing for a while, they have so many that, may not fit into a room and they think, can I put them in a garage? So is that safe to have them going for, especially if she lives into extreme where it's like, even in Kansas, it can get really hot and it gets really cold. Is that bad on the discs?
Okay. So if left out there for years, maybe, but the key to discs being all right when you put them out there, like in the garage or in heat or something like that, is that they need to be in a bin of some type or standing up next to one another. You don't want them just kind of laying sideways on one another or just kind of thrown out there, because heat will cause those then to lose a bit of their dome and kind of like warp onto one another and things like that. And so if you are going to store them somewhere very hot like that, you do definitely want to get these bins or racks or something like that that can help them stay upright. My wife and I have dealt with this same issue. So I've been collecting these boxes and bins and things like that for a little while. Yeah. A lot of mine just end up in my trunk. I have one of these plastic bins that Bobby just
in your
linked.
trunk.
Yep, I've got that in the trunk. I've got my bag I've got my cart and my bag in the trunk, and then a few loose discs just here and there.
How many awards would you say you have? I think we've talked about this.
Counted the other day. It's over 60 now.
Over 60?
60.
Yeah. Oh, I figured there'd be more than that.
Yeah, but of just the one disc, though.
I don't know. Do you have any collectors? Or they're all
collector wardens?
throw?
I have one collector warden, and it's just a prototype Lucid warden.
Oh, okay.
Every other warden I would throw, for sure.
Oh, okay. All right, let's move on to the next one. This one's from Rock.
Dude from Australia. Let's go.
G'day, fellas. It's Rock here from Australia. EMAC, Mr. McCall, Bobby, and Danny, who I assume is floating around in the background. Guys, this is a long one, so strap in while I paint you a picture. So, I put my hand up to TD an event for the first time last weekend. This event doubled as the Women's Global event. First of all, I want to shout out to the turkeys who did a lot of grunt work and made me look very good. Throughout the event, we had a couple of, many sporting teams running a lightning carnival using and sharing the same space. We rolled with the punches for the most part, but there were a whole bunch of unsupervised kids, toddlers, rogue grandparents tottering about around the place. They were constantly walking across our fairways. The players were pretty good. They used spotters to keep the fairways clear while they were teeing off, but gee, it was a nuisance. I maintain we just needed to hit one of them to send a message, but my tournament director mentor, Hootie, he assured me there was very little chance of that ending well. Anywho, one of the coaches almost came to blows with two of our competitors when he flat out refused to move the kids he was training just to 20 metres to the left. Most of the people we encountered were more curious and happy just to share the space, but this one guy was very aggressive. My question is, what is the most aggressive or outright bizarre encounters you've had with members of the public during a tournament you guys have been a part of? Cheers.
I can think of two off the top of my head. One more recent, but the first one was during, I think it was the Oklahoma Open 2 or 3 years ago. And there was I can't remember what course it was at, but there was a festival of, I don't want to be, they're very gypsy-like.
Okay. How dare you?
I know.
You're so offensive.
And they all of a sudden, they just started setting up tents, and it was like a craft show almost, but people were just setting up tents, and they were selling stuff, and then they were starting to cook. And I remember we were thinking, I can't remember if it was the one that we were running, but we sort of panicked, and they had to go talk to them. And some of them were like, okay, we'll try to stay out of your way. But some were like, okay, that's cool. You're playing an event, but we're not moving. And so they literally had to it changed people's throws because of the way the hole was made and where they were at.
Yeah.
And it was just like, what do you do?
Yep.
I think it was a park that you could rent part of the park, but you couldn't rent the whole thing. So it was like, there wasn't much you can do. The most recent one though was at Class 1 Open.
Oh yeah.
It was one of the C tiers. Now what? Okay. No. It was out at Swope Park when the baseball players.
Yeah, that was awful. And okay, to Doug's credit and everyone who's involved with the tournament, we had rented out the park.
Yes.
We had gotten with the high school coaches and said, we're going to be out here from this time to this time. We absolutely cannot have any practice on these fields. We rented out the entire park. They disregarded that.
Yeah. Showed up, started playing. And then now this is hearsay. These are rumors. But from what I hear that they were actually being rather belligerent and on purpose hitting balls to hit toward players.
Yeah. Really, really awful situation. Yeah, and Doug was so frustrated. He was on the phone. Just from the second he found out about it, just with the principal of the school, with the sheriff, with all these people, for people that just weren't following the rules and, respecting the fact that we reserved the park.
Yeah. So the biggest thing you got to remember now, the thing is that if you go to if you're playing a tournament, even if it's a public park, you got to remember that you're not the only one that belongs in the park. Now, unless, of course, you have a situation where you are able to reserve a park, then that's a different situation. But a lot of people would say that's kind of the argument for pushing more toward private pay-to-play courses. In fact, that's one of the big reasons why we have now the GBO MPO field on the Emporia Country Club, because we have a lot more control because it's on a private course.
That's right. The craziest one that I saw, it was a tournament when I was in Abilene. And
Abilene.
You always do that.
I know
man.
this song.
Come on, man. And there's one hole they can guess they can't rent out the park in its entirety out there, but there's one hole that plays over a little creek, and most everybody just throws a spike hyzer onto this little landing zone where the basket is. There's road deep of it and water short of it. And a friend of mine at the time was there was a truck that had parked just right in front of the tee box, like right in front of the tee box, and he had said, "Hey, would you mind moving your truck?" Nicely, the person very impolitely said some words to him and moved his truck up by the basket. This friend of mine, I wouldn't call this the smartest decision, at least not one that I would make. Okay. But this friend of mine forewent the regular spike hyzer route and just drilled the fastest disc he had at the guy's car by the basket and just smoked the side of it, and it was in bounds. And he got a 2. And I guess the guy found out about it later.
So he hit the truck, or
smoked the side of it hard.
Did it do anything?
It left a dent.
Wow. Yeah, that's a smart thing.
Yeah,
because
not great.
Lerthos on YouTube says, "What do? They refuse to move. You throw your shot, and what happens happens." I don't know that that's. I get what you're saying. I understand the sentiment. You've warned them and everything, but I don't know that if your disc were to hit somebody, I don't know how much weight that would hold if you just said, you know what, I told them
what happens happens.
What happens.
Yeah.
You know, especially
it's a tough situation.
Park,
it's to our benefit to be more responsible and respectful as often as we can, because you can't assume that they know what's going on, that they know that this will hurt a lot if it hits you, things like that.
All right, going to the Google form, we have a rules question.
Yeah.
They didn't put their name. Asks, when can you take casual relief? Mm-hmm. For instance, GBO round 1, hole 2, Ricky shot into the tree. Could Ricky mark behind the tree and not crawl into it?
Right. Answer no. As long as you can get to your disc and play from it, you have to play from there. Now, say you're in super duper deep woods and you get to your disc and there's an awful line and you don't have anything. Too bad. You have to play from it. Sorry. Casual relief is usually applied when there is something that would make it unsafe for you to play out of, or like standing water on a course that isn't typically there. If the course flooded overnight, if your disc lands in a puddle, you can usually take it at the first available spot back from the line on the basket. Right?
What if it's just really muddy?
Sorry, dude. Play it.
What if it's like so muddy you can't see your feet?
Sorry, man. Play it.
What if it's underneath a car?
Sorry, man. Play it.
How are you going to play if it's underneath the car?
Better get a foot under there. I watched this happen at Texas State's one year. Katrina's drive ended up just under the tire of a car, but still in bounds, that the car had parked on the grass, and she had to play there. Like, if they were there, she could ask them to move it, but they weren't.
So you don't get the option?
Nope. Now, water on the course, they have to say at the beginning of the round that it's casual. And most tournament directors will do that. If it's not marked as OB, it's not counted as OB. But best thing to do is to say you can take casual relief from water. A lot of courses that have cactus on it, they'll say if you land in a cactus, you can take up to 5 meters behind it.
Is there a Texas tournament that does that a lot?
There's a course called out in Manor, Texas, that has a lot of cactus.
Yeah.
So yeah, stuff like that is the ways that you could take casual relief.
What if you started playing an event and an hour into it, the storm of the century comes in and just floods everything?
They'll tell you what's casual and what's not. I like all your
like all my scenarios.
Yeah.
What if the blob shows it? No. Next one comes from Matt. This is another rules question. I typically use premium plastic for my putters because I want them to last a long time before having to replace them. However, the premium plastics are not very grippy. I have read that either rubbing them with acetone or sanding them with sandpaper will make the putters easier to grip. I get it. Will this be against PDJ rules? Should I just give in and start buying my putters in the baseline plastic?
Well, Matt, I believe the rule says it prohibits excessive sanding of discs, and I think that's usually that's usually brought up in reference to if your disc gets chunked, if it hits a tree or a rock or something like that, and you try and sand it some. as long as you don't do so excessively to try and alter the flight characteristics, then you should be fine. If it's just roughing up the top of the disc, if it was me, I probably wouldn't do that. I'm sure people would, and there wouldn't be a problem. It's going to be really tough for somebody to call you on that. But acetone, I don't think is too bad because people use that to wipe stamps and things. And I don't know. If you're trying to make the putter more grippy, what I would do is just get a baseline putter personally. But that's where I'm at on that.
Next one comes from Ben.
Hello, friends. My wife just told me that I can come to the Glassblown Open this upcoming year for 2019.
Nice.
And I'm pretty excited about it. I just was wondering, when do you announce what dates it will be and when does registration open? Thank you.
They are already open and we're full. No, I'm just kidding. We have decided that they will be the last weekend of, or the tournament will be the last weekend of April as we have done in the past. I don't know that that's been officially put out there.
No, but that's when we're going to do it. Yeah, it's when we've done it years past. Yeah.
So, and then typically registration has opened November,
right around there. Yeah.
Around October, November time. We feel this. I mean, we've had quite a few people use this as Christmas gifts. So this is kind of a
perfect
time to put for Christmas gifts. So.
I got a quick update for when you asked if a car is in your way. Danny messaged me the rule 803.02. It says if a large solid obstacle prevents the player from taking a legal stance behind the marker disc or from marking a disc above or below the playing surface, the player may mark a new lie immediately behind that obstacle on the line of play. So I think that would say the disc ends up under a car, but part of it's still sticking out, or you could get a foot behind it. I would say you need to play a foot behind it. But if you would have to, lay down to get a foot under there, then maybe you just take a spot behind it.
Nice.
Yep.
All right. Next one comes from, we'll take this as our last one. This one's from Kyle.
Now, remember, we did a little live stuff before. So audio podcasts were probably still not quite.
No, I didn't hit audio.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, I didn't hit record until we actually started recording.
I just want more questions, man.
Oh, we're good.
I'm just enjoying myself, man.
Next one comes from Kyle, as I said before I rudely interrupted.
Wait, what?
I'm sorry, what? I'm a new player and I would like to get my bag dialed in for the summer. I currently carry a Fusion Thief, or as Eric Oakley likes to call him, Thief. That flies very straight for me. What disc would you recommend if I'd like to get something a little faster than that with the same flight path, maybe slightly more stable?
I think an Escape would probably fit that for you. The Thief is an 8-speed, if I remember correctly. The Escape says it's a 9-speed on there, but I think it has the potential to be quite a bit faster than that, or to act quite a bit faster than that. Out of the box, I think it's going to be slightly more overstable than the Thief, but stay in the air a little bit longer for you. That'd be my recommendation.
Would a Maverick be a good recommendation?
Maverick is actually a little bit slower.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm. Maverick's a 7-speed. It might fly pretty straight for you. I think it's worth trying out just to have some good options. But if you're looking for something a little bit,
a 7.
Mm-hmm. If you're looking for something a little bit faster, Escape is a good answer.
Because I like the Maverick more than the Thief. Isn't that crazy?
Well, what I like about the Maverick
don't matter.
It's true. What I like about the Maverick more than the Thief is the Maverick's turn is a lot more gradual. So I throw a Maverick on a little bit of hyzer and it slowly works up to flat and then slowly moves to the right.
Yeah.
When I threw a Thief like that, it would get over to the right pretty quickly and then hold that way. So just the fact that it turns slowly is why I like the Maverick more, and why I think you like it more as well.
That's probably true, because when I would throw the Thief on certain shots, it seemed like it turned whoa, it's turning. Whoa, I'd let that go too much of an ante or too straight or something for the throw.
Yeah, for me, it's pretty touchy. Eric loves them
for a job. So. Sorry.
It's time with my friends. Eric loves them for rollers because he just throws them almost flat and counts on that quick turn to get to the ground.
Eric Oakley.
Yeah, that's right. So Eric McCabe rolls a Renegade.
All right, so that's all we're going to do for the questions. We're going to talk a little bit about Skip A, so we're going to kind of switch gears here.
No.
Yep, we got to go see. Did you remember to put your?
Of course not.
You didn't put your picks in?
Nope.
You lose.
Sorry, we've had stuff going on, man.
Lose.
We've been busy.
So we try to have some.
Is this for the Disc Golf Answer Man League or?
Yeah,
I'm joking. because I ask that a lot, and you'll always make fun of me. And anyway,
we never make fun of you.
No, never.
So skipace.com is kind of fun we have with picking stuff as far as tournaments. So what was the most recent one? Oh, standings. I got to go to standings, don't I? Santa Cruz.
Oh, you did well this week. 53rd in Disc Golf Answer Man League.
I did 50th with only 978 points. Boy, a lot of what upset everybody?
Let's see. Let's check those picks out. So Bobby, 53rd place.
So I picked Macbeth, Eagle, AJ, and Alan Wagner. Oh, that was because I just had
You probably spent too many points.
Yeah, I had too many points, so I had to pick somebody. And then Paige Pierce and Lisa Fakis.
That's right. Paige obviously won the event. I think Lisa ended up in 3rd place.
Yeah,
I think that's right.
If you're on YouTube, and watching this, let us know if you did the Disc Golf Answer Man Skip Ace. Let us know how you did. Looks like James Miranda had the sole first place with 1,124 points. He picks Paul Macbeth, Philo Brathwaite. That got him some good points.
Yeah,
where did Philo end up for the? I know he was like in 2nd, wasn't he? After round 2,
he's either like in 3rd or tied for 5th or somewhere in there. I don't remember right off the top.
It doesn't let me go to the thing, does it? Let me do this real quick.
Yeah.
No, go to picks.
Here,
it won't let me do it. Can you go to the PDJ page?
Yeah, I got you.
All right, so we'll go back to Santa Cruz on here. Phil Carter got 2nd place. Seth Hogan, who is
Isaiah's dad.
Yeah, Isaiah's dad.
That's one of our.
He got 3rd place.
Yeah.
Who else did he pick? He picked Eric Oakley, got him 100. No, James Miranda. Yeah. So the big people that got him points was Philo and Paul Macbeth. Mm-hmm. He also picked Drew Gibson, which got him 142. Mm-hmm. Same with Eric Oakley. Did they tie? Eric Oakley and Drew,
15th.
And then he picked Paige for the FPO winner and Madison Walker as the FPO's their 2nd place points.
All right, let's get to our standings here. So on the men's side, Ricky Wysocki took it down 2-stroke win over Josh Anthon in 2nd place, 3 shots over Paul Macbeth, and then Philo finished in 4th, 4 shots off the lead.
So any big surprises in that, Robert, since you didn't pick anybody?
What
would have been your picks?
I told you before I would pick Ricky. I'll pick Ricky until I have a reason not to. And I think he's catching his stride. His putt is looking good. And when he's on, he's a dominant player. There's nobody can argue that. So I definitely would have picked Ricky. I think the other people I thought would do well was Bradley Williams. I think he would always play well out there. Obviously, I think Macbeth's going to do well out there. He's a great player, but he's also in a place where he's won the tournament a lot.
But he didn't start out so good. He was like in 30th place.
He had to fight back. He shot the hot round, or at least tied for the hot round of the final round, 1070 rated 50, which is pretty nasty. Who else did I say? I think I said I like Peter McBride out there. Peter struggled a little bit on his 2nd round. First round, he shot a 1037 rated 67, but his 2nd round was a 75, which was rated 976, and he finished up with a 997. So not as great a finish for Peter. He's a great player and just didn't quite put it together that weekend. Other DD players that did well, Dustin Keegan in 25th place, AJ Risley in a tie for 21st, and then Eric Oakley in a tie for 15th. And then Noah Meidsma, I like looking at.
He was kind of the surprise, wasn't he?
The highest finishing non-1,000 rated player is kind of a cool way to look at events. And Noah ended up in a tie for 5th. He's rated 994. He shot 1050, 1038, and 1005. And that netted him $1,025. Pretty solid weekend's work. Noah's out of Minnesota. Good kid.
Now, you obviously are the team director for, the DD Westside Latitude. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure you've got your ear to the ground when it comes to seeing potential players. Was Noah even on your radar?
I know who Noah is. I've talked to him some.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, don't everybody get excited. What I meant was radar is that... great. I probably started a big rumor or something.
No.
Just Robert, part of his job is to know what's going on in the player world. So I didn't know if Noah was ever somebody that came to his attention.
I'll put it this way. So we talked a little bit with our players recently just about social media and good things to do, positive ways to promote your brand and promote our brands and things like that. And I told him this is true about social media, but I think it's also true about players in general is if somebody says, hey, did you see this player's post? Most of the time I've already seen that post because it's part of my job to keep up with that, right? Same goes for kind of up and coming players. There's a very, very good chance if someone who is, playing well and who's on the move, on the up and up, there's a good chance I know who they are already, without really having to have someone kind of put them in front of me. Now, I'm happy when people send those over to me because that's cool. It may not work out that we sponsor them or anything like that, but I just like to see players get better.
Now, have you watched any of the coverage from Masters Cup? I watched a little bit.
Watched a little of the first round, and that was about it.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy week coming back.
So yeah, I was surprised at Macbeth start. He was like I said, I think it was like 30th or 35th or something like that at the round. He was pretty low
down the leaderboard, especially for his standards. Yeah.
So of course he did it in Macbeth fashion, fighting back. Did you say he got the hot round on round 2?
He tied for the hot round. Austin Turner also shot a 50. I don't see anybody in the 40s.
Or he came. Look at that. Austin Turner shot a 73 first round, 67 round 2, and then 54. And it was all on the same course, right?
No, the first two were on the same course. The third one was on the golf course.
But still, to be playing that way and then all of a sudden come back with, 17 strokes better than your second round. That's crazy.
But that's also on more holes. The golf course only had 18 holes.
Okay, I'm a goofball.
It's okay. But yeah,
that's right. They only 18 holes was on.
They did 24 at De La.
Because I was starting to think, wow, everybody did incredible.
No, Austin.
I'd forgotten about that part.
Austin's one of those guys that if he gets on a roll, he can put some crazy rounds together. Yeah. He's a very talented player for sure.
Now, we're super excited with Paige Pierce. He is, so far for 2018 season, has remained undefeated. Every tournament she has signed up and played, she has won.
Done quite well.
And a lot of them she has dominated. Does it become a boring story when someone just keeps winning?
Nope. It's like, for me, and I know I'm biased because Paige is one of our sponsored players and she's a friend, but for me, it kind of becomes like a legacy, right? You think of, like when we watched the UConn women's basketball team win, I don't know, I want to say their streak was like 100-something games in a row.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. And so just to see somebody play at the top level and succeed just weekend after weekend after weekend in something as mentally taxing as disc golf, for me, that's really, really cool to see.
Yeah. So she beat the field by 12 strokes. Mm-hmm. Katrina Allen was in second. And yes, we are aware of the disqualification for Valerie Jenkins, but for me, I'm going to choose not to talk about it in an open forum just because it is what it is.
Right.
And it happened.
It's also tough for us because without standing right there, we don't know the details of everything.
That's the biggest thing is that I'm looking on, I'm obviously on Facebook and I'm watching these people go back and forth and I want to shout at the screen and say, you weren't even there. And you're making a lot of assumptions.
Right.
And so I don't want to make any assumptions because I don't know the full details.
Yep. That's where I'm at as well.
Lisa, so other than that, it was somewhat of a close race between Lisa and Katrina. Lisa finished with 16 over and Katrina at 15 over. So only one stroke separated third and second place. I expected Jennifer Allen to do pretty well, and she did with her fourth place finish.
Mm-hmm.
Who else? Sarah Holcomb finished tied with seventh. That's a little surprising. Of course, I don't know how she did last year or how she does in those in the California area.
She controls angles well, so she could definitely play well at De La. Like that's very important. Zoe Andike in sixth place. Zoe had been struggling with some injuries earlier this year. And
I didn't. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, finally getting to play a little bit more and shot 2 rounds over rating, 1 almost over rating. So playing quite well.
Yes. So, all right. So what are we going to do for the guy that won, Mr. James Miranda? Mr. Miranda, if you're listening, hopefully you're listening, or if you got a buddy, make sure you tell James to take a screenshot of him being signed in to Skip Ace. You have to show that you logged in to Skip Ace so I know it's you. And we will send you some goodies. Email that to Bobby@dynamicdiscs.com, BOBBY at dynamicdisc.com.
Email that to Cool Daddy Slick Breeze.
It will go nowhere.
COOLDADD.
No, COOOOO.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, my bad.
Cool. So that's all we got to talk on there. What's next up is what?
what next event on
the
there
Disc
is
Golf Pro Tour
yep.
San Francisco Open.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about that?
From what I understand, this is a newer course that they're going to play. Everyone locally is really excited about that. I talked to Corey Merle about that from Central Coast Disc Golf, and he's been raving about this course. And I mean, he knows disc golf pretty well. He sees a lot of beautiful places. So I'm really excited to catch some of the action on this. I don't know what the course is like, so I don't have a good idea of who to pick.
And you're dumb in.
But I'll stick with what I've said since we've started. I will pick Ricky until I'm forced not to.
The website is Throwsfo.
Throw
SFO, I'm assuming. Throw San Francisco Open. Let's see if it has anything to say about the course. Sponsors, event info, caddy. Well, it's got a caddy book. Let's see if the caddy book.
All right, let's check it out.
You have to download it, which is perfectly fine. The artwork for it is really cool.
That's
like
pretty
that.
sweet.
Oh, that's a nice looking. Oh, it's on Memorial Day weekend. Fans new and old will have the opportunity to watch the world's best disc golfers compete to be crowned the SFO champion. Our local team is proud to host the California-based tournament ever. The first California-based ever for the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Nice.
A series of 9 national. Okay, so that's more than just a tournament. The action will fold on the newly installed Glen Eagles Disc Golf course, which exhibits very challenging terrain with sweeping views of San Francisco Bay. Ooh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
And the best 19th hole around.
Yeah.
Do we know what that means?
I have a guess, but I'm going to leave it alone.
It's fixing to be an entertaining and exciting weekend for players and fans alike. And that is from Sean Jack, tournament director. Well, Sean, you did a good job because
You're intrigued.
I'm intrigued. Looks like they have their own beer, Hopsheiser. Oh, here we go.
I mean,
that tells you everything.
That's all you need to know.
We're looking at the course map in the caddy book.
If it's a golf course, it looks like, just from the map, it looks like this plays in a few more trees than something
hole 10.
like
That looks in hole 5.
Giant, yeah. It looks like it plays in a little bit more wooded area than Country Club. Country Club has some trees that shape shots, but not quite as many as these. And so I think we're going to see, long throwers do quite well out here, but there does look to be quite a bit of out of bounds. So honestly, weekends like this, I think we're going to see the same kind of names rise to the top. And that's the players who can handle things the best. I mean, they can, Ricky, Eagle, Paul, Simon, Sexton, all those guys can go into really any type of course and make it suit their game. Those are the people I think we'll see up here. We could also see, a Drew who's got the distance advantage on a lot of these guys. We could see a Grady Shue who's a super long thrower that people don't know about just yet, but has elite distance for sure.
Hole 5 at 1,033 feet. Oh, that's not the biggest one. No, it is the biggest. No. Hole 5 for the MPO is 1,033 feet, but the longest is hole 10 at 1,188 feet.
It's pretty
far.
It's
like a straight shot, but there's a lot of it's like a line of trees.
Yeah, downhill all the way, it looks like.
Oh, wow.
Which is cool. Anthony just messaged me and said Central Coast Disc Golf did hole previews for this, and that's on the San Francisco Open Facebook page if you want to check that out.
Nice.
He says it's like a wooded golf course. So it'll be some open shots, but definitely some trees that shape things for us.
So you're still sticking with even with that little bit of information?
I mean, I know that's the easiest way to play it, but yeah, the top guys are going to play well here. There's just no other way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, but with your picks though, you have to be kind of careful who you pick because, like I did before, you can't use up all your points.
Right.
So
you're talking skip ace picks here?
Yeah. What would you do for skip ace?
All right.
Picks?
Well, I'm going to take Rick off the top, as I've said before. I'd probably take somebody in the Eagle, Eagle Sexton kind of range of 1038, 1041, somewhere in there ratings wise. Probably take someone around a 1010 to 1015. That could easily be, that could be a bunch of our team players. AJ Risley, Eric Oakley, Dustin Keegan, all those guys have plenty of power to play well out at a place like that. And then maybe someone just a hair under them, probably around the 1,000 rated range. And you're going to want to probably a long thrower, maybe a Zach Johnson or somebody like that. I like that on the guy's side. On the women's side, I'm never not going to pick Paige. She is killing the game. But then for who else played well? Lisa played well out here at Glassbone Open. I blanked on the name. It's like we don't say it very often.
Right.
Glassbone Open. And she's just an all-around great player. I don't think she quite has the distance that a couple of the other ladies do, but she can put them out there really well, and she's a fantastic putter. So I think those would probably be my picks.
All right, well, there you go, guys. Make sure you get your picks in at skipace.com. We give stuff away every now and then, just like we did for James. Again, James, send that email in and we'll get something for you as soon as we get your mailing address. For our audio listeners, we're going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for tuning in. For our YouTube guys, we'll stick around and answer a few of your questions. But thanks so much for tuning in to the Disc Golf Answer Man. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review. 5 stars. 5 stars.
I'll do it for Eric.
Oh, yeah, 5 stars. All right, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time. Bye.